We're going to talk about how the defensive side of strike throw is weighted and how a commitment to blocking can lead to more than just another throw taken. Mena begins the comeback with a medium DRC into throw, an important note for later, and he continues to establish throw, knowing that Higuchi is opting to take it because multiple are required to win. This is what I mean when I said weighted. When it takes one strike into a combo to lose compared to 4 grabs, the decision is weighted in favor of taking the throw. Mena understands that's how Higuchi sees the scenario and throws him all the way until that weight completely balances out. Because with a life remaining now, Higuchi will lose to either strike or throw, and after 3 repeated grabs, it is understandable why anyone would try to tech in that instance. Mena makes the perfect read and protects himself from reversal in the process. Now in the very next round, off Mena's first knockdown, he goes to establish throw again, but Higuchi thwarts the attempt with a flash kick, marking one successful counter. During Mena's next offensive opportunity, he goes again with a medium DRC into throw, and Higuchi techs. That is back-to-back throw attempts that Higuchi has properly countered. So on Mena's next knockdown, it is likely he will go for a different option, probably a shimmy or frame trap. Higuchi blocks to survive these, but Mena used Higuchi weighing all those options against him and identified the most effective way to take advantage of that commitment to block with a game-winning overhead. Using your opponent's strengths against them can be as effective as attacking their weaknesses. This defensive decision by Problem X was too good not to dive into. We see the drive rush medium into DI get thrown, and the first thing to note is the move that applies burnout does not receive the +4 block stun benefit. Generally, drive rush mediums into DI are throwable if the opponent is not in burnout and are not throwable if they are in burnout. There are exceptions to this rule, but drive rush heavies into DI are usually required for unthrowable gaps while not in burnout. So it could have slipped Xiao's mind that the medium wouldn't get an extra +4, but if we look at the Oki, we discover drive rush crouch medium punch after level 3 beats wake up 4-frame options, while stand heavy punch does not. Crouch heavy punch actually results in a trade combo for Ken and would beat the throw gap, but it is a less explored option. So Xiao takes away the wake up button in exchange for an exposable gap. Now here is where Problem X makes a set swinging decision. He could have been buffering his level 1 and answered either button into DI, but the recognition that it was a medium and the fact the burnout block stun wasn't applied so he could back throw leads to everything that follows. If he uses level 1, it means he doesn't immediately have access to level 2, giving Xiao a bigger window of opportunity. But more importantly, conserving the meter results in still having access to the full screen level 1 while in Lightning Beast. That moment of recognition to optimize defense rather than go for the catch-all answer meant everything.
Oh yeah, full screen.
So much happened in the final moments of Gachikun versus Chris Wong, and we're going to start right after the level 3. Chris Wong uses stand heavy into DI on back-to-back knockdowns, and when thinking about why, I figured this was to force game-ending scenarios while maintaining his drive. If Chris Wong decided to true block string Gachikun in a burnout and a strike throw with DRC, then he's low enough where a reversal level 1 would burn him out. OD Sandblast would also true block string, but leave Chris Wong outside of true strike throw range. But if stand heavy into DI is blocked, then he wins the game. If it hits, it burns Gachikun out, and if he gets super, then at least he still has drive meter. From Gachikun's perspective, he sees the walk forward from Chris, and that means jump can get out of raw DI now, because DI only connects after Luke level 3 if it is input immediately. So with immediate DI off the table and DRC being unlikely, Gachikun may have attempted a jump here, giving himself an extra chance at escape knowing he could survive. Of course, the escape doesn't work, and this low on life he decides to block. Chris Wong applies the same logic as before, going for biggest reward with a lesser amount of risk, and as we see, is left with drive meter after Gachikun was able to react. But drive meter didn't help for what happened next. Gachikun walks forward and Chris Wong reacts with a walk back to maintain some space. Gachikun then walks back only to jump forward, creating even more distance prior to the jump. This sweet spot not only makes the crouch heavy punch whiff, but also makes it extremely difficult to anti-air with almost any of Luke's options. This masterful spacing was the final move to checkmate in an incredible match. The corner control from Zhen in this moment starts from his willingness to sacrifice one resource for screen position while having another resource to fall back on. He burns himself out, but the space control displayed after ends up being effective. I like the meaties because reversals from Mena would result in burnout, but really it's the decisions and the way Zhen moves after the meaties that make the difference. The commitment to backdash allows him to keep strong corner control and eliminates the danger of being close enough for back throw or some type of other gambit that would allow a side switch. And to emphasize the specific space priority even more, Zhen breaks out the air-to-air for the first time in the set, and a composed neutral jump air-to-air, where a back jump leaves him unable to follow up with a light meaty. Then off this meaty, he once again backs up, doesn't commit because he is maintaining a space where he doesn't lose the corner, this time just barely dodging the jump heavy kick, as even just a heartbeat more of hesitation ends up making him block. And from here on, it is all about maintaining that position, blocking, waiting to see if Mena will jump again, backing up to give himself more room to react, and that is exactly what happens. He counters the second sandblast he sees with SA2, which also takes up the rest of his burnout timer, allowing him to recover and seal the victory. I love the big picture mindset of being willing to go into burnout to set yourself up in a prime position to win the round.
Bam!